You're live, right?
Yeah. Check.
Okay, let me go to the account and then
check.
I should be on your
Check.
my channel. All right, hold on.
Okay. Never mind.
No, say live.
No, I am live. I'm just gonna. I'll check myself.
No, I was just saying. Let me pull it up. It might echo a bit, but if I pull it up on my laptop, it should be there. Because even though it's unlisted, here it is. Bang, right? Oh, I want. Give me the link, you stupid fuck.
Check.
All right, prepare for
Check.
Yeah, it's working. Yeah, see? Yeah.
Okay. Hey, what's up? You're John Blattner in the house.
Well, John.
He just answered.
The mic's working.
That was really weird. It's weird because it's just you, but it should be fine. I wonder if
Is this a private video? By
I deleted. I should have checked if things worked on like Twitter and Facebook, and it was just YouTube.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, no, it's on the floor.
Yeah,
it's
that's
unlisted, so we can just delete it. It's not a problem.
Whatever. Just
Would it be?
turn the camera on, and then I won't mute any of the cameras, and then we'll do it that way.
Wait, what? If we're not muting any of the cameras?
No, I know, but we'll mute them one by one, and we'll figure out. We'll figure out
It's gonna
what
be fucking wicked echoey as
Yeah.
we go. But are we making a new?
I'm just gonna try it on the unlisted first,
Okay.
just so we can have it, and then we know.
Yeah. Then
What
we
not
can
to
just-
do.
You can stop broadcasting and go live again.
Just
No, I know. I was just saying.
Danny, just-
what are we jumping in on?
just go into the new studio that we're having that I'm in.
The test one.
Yeah. I'm gonna go into that one. Okay.
No. Yeah, they take me out. That's not my
I
camera.
thought Danny was in. Okay, I just saw him go in.
Mod one. Okay, that's on. I mean, hell. Oh, you are broadcasting.
Check. Hold on.
Danny, mute your mic really quick.
No, go ahead.
Mic check. So I should be able to hear it through your laptop, right? There it goes.
Yeah.
Mic check 2.
Okay. I don't know. Whatever. I guess. I think it works now.
You're
My profile can't be muted,
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's good. Yeah.
even though I can hear.
Yeah. I guess the TV's TVs. Yeah, but as long as you have the TV muted and your laptop muted. No. Oh. Yeah, that's what it was. We were hitting it. Check. Wait, can you kill your cam? Hold on. Recursive.
There, kill my cam.
Like, because you have to be. It's like, yeah, if you're in, so you're in now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so then you would just look like that. You would just be a fucking.
Yeah, which I mean, that's what we gotta do. That's what we
Yeah,
gotta do.
yeah.
Check.
Check.
Check. boy.
Oh God.
I don't know what my only crime was being happy. That's all I did.
I hate you.
Holy shit, Danny.
Oh boy.
Oh God.
I don't know what my only crime was being happy.
This is now take 2 of our AEW Revolution show. My name is Nick Cummings, joined by Danny Hernandez and James Asanzi. We are once again live from James's living room. We sort of just finished watching AEW Revolution. It was a good show. We have sound this time. That was our previous problem. We do apologize for our technical difficulties, but this is kind of only like the second time we've done it this way, and it's the first time I've been here. So we're kind of figuring shit out. Anyway, let us get to the main event of the show, which saw MJF face off against Bryan Danielson for the AEW World Championship in a 60-minute Iron Man match. Now we're hearing echoes and everyone's confused, but I'm just going to power through.
Okay.
We're good. Producer Boy says we're good. We're good.
We love you, Producer Boy.
Thank you,
you.
Producer Boy. Producer Boy's done a lot of work tonight. I do want to
Wait,
shout
what was
him
that?
out.
We have mixed feelings about producer boy.
No, right now, I'm very positive on Producer Boy. He's working hard.
Yeah, no, he's busting his ass tonight. So
Yeah, is working hard, but the results are more the issue.
working hard or hardly working. Anyway, like I said, we saw MJF face off against Bryan Danielson in a 60-minute Iron Man match for the AEW World Championship. This match was really good, as we were saying before. I think we all enjoyed it. We all had a really good time, and then we got towards the end, and we saw a tie. And then Tony Schiavone got word from Tony Khan that the match wasn't going to end that way. So Schiavone, with so much glee in his face and the way he just strolled on there like he was the happiest man alive. He goes down to Justin Roberts and referee Bryce Remsburg, who did a phenomenal job, and we'll get to him more in a bit. But he goes down there and informs the both of them that we are going into sudden death overtime. We go into the sudden death overtime, and unfortunately, MJF, after attempting to use the title, getting caught, attempting to use the Dynamite Diamond ring, getting caught again, and then eventually hitting Bryan Danielson in the head with an oxygen tank that had been brought out during the brief stoppage between the end of the match and the restarting of it. He hits him in the head with that oxygen tank, MJF does to Bryan, and then MJF locks in the label lock, and Bryan, after what seemed like him, for lack of a phrase, hulking up and breaking out of it, Bryan is forced to submit. Now, James, I know you're disappointed. I'm going to hug you for a third time now because you definitely deserve it. It's
Thank
okay,
you.
buddy.
Thank
But this was a phenomenal match, and I think we're all a little bit sour, or at least I know you are, a little bit sour on the ending.
So let me just give you a little bit of story time with not Adam Cole, baby. But when Daniel Bryan, not Bryan Danielson, but when Daniel Bryan was trying to secure a spot for WrestleMania 30, and he failed at the Elimination Chamber, I almost threw myself down the stairs at my college townhouse. I feel very similar right now. I'm very beaten down. I'm very broken. The man just needs to be champion. And that's all I need to be happy. I'm a very simple guy, you know. I don't need much. Just make Bryan Danielson AEW champion, and I'll be happy.
It's you and your cats over here. Say hi to Hannah, everybody.
But
I can guarantee we're going to get the over-under on the amount of animals that come through the podcast tonight is 2.5.
oh yeah, no, we'll go a little over. But going on in the over/under, you had it initially at 5.5.
Yeah, I did.
What was the final tally? It was 4-3.
It was 4-3. Yeah. So I shifted it to 7.5 live, and because I said I think it's going to be 7.
Yeah,
and it tied at 3-3, and then MJF got the fourth fall with the
so
tap out,
just to give you guys a heads up on how that went, Brian Danielson got the first fall. He pinned him with the
about 40 minutes in, with the knee.
No, it wasn't.
It felt like it was 40 minutes.
No, it was like 20 minutes in.
It was like around the 7-minute mark. Happened.
Yeah,
it was a while though. I was surprised.
Oh, yeah, no, they had a healthy match.
Yeah, they had a full match, and then everything got going.
The beauty of that is Bryan Danielson pinned the AEW World Champion, and if it was a normal match, he would be champion. And then MJF get the DQ that he low blows Bryan, so he's now 2-0. And I hated what they did with
the double pin.
That MJF just pinned Bryan Danielson consecutively twice. It feels like there should be maybe like a 10-second gap.
It was almost twice,
and
he kicked out of the third one.
It was very annoying. But now you're tied 2-2. And then how did it go? MJF got the pin on Bryan, with the Heat Seeker.
Yeah,
and then Bryan made him tap out to the Regal
stretch. Yep,
Regal stretch.
Copyright pending.
So a lot of this match was booked to protect Bryan, and I appreciated that. I wanted Bryan Danielson to be protected,
as it should be.
We all knew going into tonight, guys. I'm sorry, it didn't matter how good the promos were. It didn't matter how good Bryan looked in his matches. We knew MJF was going to win.
Yeah.
So all I cared about was Bryan looking good, and he did look good. And when they got to the end of the timer, when they got to sudden death and Bryan made him tap out at the 0 mark, I would have been happy if it just kind of ended there.
Yeah, we had that. There was a point where Bryan had him tap out while MJF was holding the ropes.
Yep.
So it didn't count as well. Bryan beat him for that 7th fall multiple times.
Yep.
It just didn't count.
And
so he was, in my opinion, he was beyond protected. Like he had that one multiple times. So
they accomplished what they wanted to. They made me mad at MJF. They made me heartbroken for Bryan.
You're ready to go to war against that man right now.
I was ready to travel. Where are they? In California?
Yeah, they're in San Fran.
I was ready to go to San Francisco and just fight MJF, make him bleed even more. There was a lot of blood.
Oh, yeah. MJF, he played a little too hard on that one.
But it was... I said it before, and I'm trying to calm myself down. This match could have been an all-time great in my eyes, and now it's a match that I don't think I'll ever watch again. I still think it's a good match. I think it's very good. I think it was peak MJF. I think it was peak Bryan. You could see it multiple times that Bryan is laughing. He's smiling and giddy as all hell. And it was just a bummer. For me, I'm bummed out, but this was exactly the type of match Bryan wanted to wrestle by coming to AEW.
Yeah, but it was a perfect juxtaposition though, where you had Bryan still looking fresh at the end of the match. He's still, ready to go. He's laughing, like you said, and you have this bloody, worn down, barely able to survive MJF.
Yeah,
he's just miserable. He's begging Bryan to stop.
I mean,
Bryan's out there. He's
doing jumping jacks.
Yeah, he was doing. Well, they were both doing jumping jacks at multiple points in the
MJF
match.
did it in the beginning.
Yeah,
Bryan was doing it at the end of the
match. And when they had the restart, I thought Bryan was going to hit the knee right out the gate.
Yeah,
he was set up to do it. I was didn't. If he did it, I think he would have won. But he did eventually hit the knee, and then MJF
it's going to haunt me. It's going to haunt me that if Bryan just went for the pin as opposed to the Regal stretch, he would have won.
Well, he did get the tap out.
But if he pinned him and then put him into the Regal
would have
stretch,
been less time.
Oh,
ooh, that's a very nice, subtle. I like it. Me gusta. That was a note I didn't necessarily realize, but that's a really good point.
So I know I sound bitter, and I am. I'm very bitter. But I said it to you guys as we were watching the match. Bryan. This is why I'm not worried about Bryan ever going back to WWE. He's not going to. Maybe a retirement run just to retire there, get his little Hall of Fame induction. Little that means nothing. But as an active performer full time, it does. It doesn't.
It means absolutely nothing.
It means something.
Not anymore.
I don't know. Who devalued it for you? Who was the one person it's I don't care about?
Let's be realistic. Everyone is in it.
I don't think everyone's in it. There are going to be people that don't get into it.
Well, other than murderers.
Hi, Danny.
Oh my God.
Danny is going to renounce the Hall of Fame when the Miz.
I'll have you all know I didn't do any of this. Danny clicked the button. And
I didn't ask for any of this.
Anyways,
No, I mean, look, I think we all know that the Hall of Fame is for the most part has been all right. Who just like?
I don't want to get too bogged down in the Hall of Fame. This is an
we don't go on
AEW pay-per-view.
tangents.
Not here at the Market Down
We lost that
podcast.
banner. I don't know where it went. Producer boy.
Wait, if producer boy isn't on screen, are we muted?
No, we're fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
we're solid.
So, gotta ask the tough questions.
Cola.
I don't. This is why Bryan Danielson left WWE for AEW.
Yeah, to wrestle matches like this, and
So he could wrestle
and
guys like Takeshita.
Yeah.
So he could wrestle guys like Roosh. So he could have 60-minute Iron Man matches and bleed and go through tables and be pile drived on
through
the
a
floor.
table,
Yeah.
through a broken table.
This is what he wanted, and this is what he got, and he's happy. I don't. Oh God, is it upside down for him? Is it sideways?
We should just do a sideways Danny
No,
for a while.
So,
Just
but
keep filling here.
yeah, he says it like it's so easy.
No one knows the issues, but
Yeah,
I love
you're right.
going
And this
live
is
like this. This
this
is
is
so
why-
much fun.
this is why it's not professional it down. This is why it's market down, because I can't handle this. But there were so many moments in this match that I loved. You know, Bryan hitting the super Busaiku knee. Yay!
It's alive.
He's here.
It's alive. Hi, Danny.
So what do you guys want to talk about?
So we were talking
We're
about
talking about the WWE Hall of Fame.
Oh, cool. I mean, it's as legit a Hall of Fame as you get, you know. How do they do it? Do you do like baseball, where like some people get selected and everyone votes on
Well,
it?
yes,
Or-
that's
instead of a
exactly
bunch of old white people voting on it, it's just one white person voting on it. A
who
white
also
person
happens to
voting
be
on
old. Yeah,
Gotcha.
oh man, I would have loved to have seen what a Hall of Fame without Vince would have looked like.
it. Yeah, that would be interesting. China would have won a lot earlier.
Oh Jesus! No, it was because of Triple H that China didn't get in earlier.
Touche.
But
I digress.
you know, we were. What do you think about the main event?
I simultaneously loved it and hated it. I loved it because it was awesome. It was borderline perfect. It was a match that started good and built and built and built. It got so good at the end. The beginning of the match sucked because
Yeah.
that's how good the end was.
That's weirdly true.
If
Yeah.
the first 20 minutes was just a match, good match. But the last 40 minutes, so good. Fuck those first 20 minutes.
Which is insane, right? Because they had like a solid 20-minute match and then shit started.
And the crowd, they didn't lose the crowd at all. That is amazing.
What was the
crowd
comment
was
you made
louder
at the
halfway
end?
through than they were in the beginning. Like they kept them.
What was the chant that you remembered? That like in the last 3 minutes they're chanting.
Oh, they were chanting
Fight forever, yeah, at the end.
And
Like-
there was 2 minutes left. There was 2 minutes, 7 seconds left. Fight forever chant.
There was a "This is awesome" chant. I think SRS pointed it out with like 40 minutes to go. Like we've been watching this for 40 minutes, and people are chanting now as opposed to the beginning.
Yeah.
Which I think, like we talked about on the prediction show, it was going to be kind of difficult to keep everybody involved for 60 minutes, and this crowd was phenomenal, and they were 100% involved.
Is this better than the Sean Brett Iron Man match?
It's tough to say because I didn't watch that live as a fan.
Fair.
You know, so it's hard to compare.
I've never seen it.
Well, I'm just gonna say it is, and FTR Bald can fight me on it.
I think both FTR guys will want to fight you on it, and their friend Phil.
But only one of them has a podcast that like he'll say something.
That's true.
Mm.
How many episodes have they had so far?
Less than us.
That's true, but like,
Well, we've been doing this for what?
We're veterans. He's
you know,
a rookie.
maybe for their 10th episode special, I'll have CM Punk.
You'll get there eventually.
We'll see.
What's up,
Just
buddy?
got a producer.
Producer boy,
You're wide. You're wide.
I gave you.
Yeah, which is where we
Yeah,
can
which
see
is kind of
you.
makes it the worst.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Producer Boy live in the on screen.
He's been here before.
Give a wave there, Producer Boy. There you are. Hello.
That is famous indie film director Eric Grisanti from such hit films as The Selfish 2 and Stay Near. He worked with Michael Rappaport. Well, you got a cameo from him. It's like the same thing. But this main event was so fucking good. It 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 was so fucking the last 20 minutes of this match was a clinic in babyface booking. Everything Bryan did was so beautiful. He had the crowd believing he was going to win. He had me and James believing he was going to win to the point where we're emotionally affected by it. And James is still pretty affected. I've come to terms with it, mostly from being tired. But they did everything so well that I don't know how they're going to beat MJF after this, because all the tricks in this match made it seem like this title was going to change and would have made it a perfect night to change the title. So how do you top this forever beats them?
So I said this before while you were experiencing your technical difficulties.
I'm experiencing technical difficulties. What are you talking
I
about?
said this before when he couldn't join us for whatever reason.
Somebody was being difficult. I know. That's all I know.
But I think the way they booked this match showed that MJF is very beatable, obviously.
Carry on.
So he pinned him at the 27-minute mark just with a regular Busaiku knee. It wasn't anything special. It wasn't anything like monumental. He just had him beat 1, 2, 3, but it's an Iron Man match. So if Bryan was able to do it, someone else is going to be able to do it. It can't be an Iron Man match designed to ensure MJF doesn't lose the title to Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I don't like I said before. I thought it protected Bryan perfectly because he won multiple times, or at least should have won multiple times. Hello, gato, cómo está? And it pitted MJF perfectly as somebody who really shouldn't have the title.
Oh, absolutely.
He shouldn't, but he escaped, and that's all that really matters. Now, the thing is, the ending of the match doesn't necessarily tell that story because he beat Bryan with his move. Granted, he whacked him upside in the head with an oxygen tank, but Bryan was about to break out of that. And quite frankly, I thought Bryan should have broke out of that and then have MJF win in another way later. Hell, I thought it would have been better if he beat him with the Regal stretch. Like,
damn.
Than the actual fucking label lock. But there was a way there. I think they could have done the ending itself better.
I think the most egregious thing was that he kicked out of the Busaiku knee.
Especially after he didn't kick out of it
Earlier. Yeah, no, I agree.
Well, Bryan kicked out of a heat seeker when he got pinned by one earlier in the match too. They did.
That's a valid point. That's a valid point. But I also wanted Bryan to win, so I don't count that. I think that's right.
I understand your logic, and I agree with that.
I never said I was unbiased.
I really want to put my leg down, and then the cat's here, and I'm afraid to move it.
No, you're stuck.
My knee hurts so bad.
This, folks, is why we do the in-person podcast, so that we can get pets involved.
Exactly. Congratulations, Henny. This is your big star making performance.
So, because there was just so much to the match, I'll just ask the obvious question. What was your favorite part of the match? It's like a movie. You could actually ask what was your favorite scene.
Honestly,
so, like,
the table spots, I really love.
The pile driver, or
both of them, both the elbow drop and the pile driver. Just because, I guess outside of the Punk dog collar match, we don't really see MJF do a lot of table spots like that.
True.
And he never does high flying stuff. So whenever he does something that's pretty much out of character, for lack of a better phrase, I love seeing it.
It's exciting.
I know he can do this. I know, like we were saying before, like he didn't seem out of place against Bryan in the ring in terms of just being able to wrestle outside of kayfabe. Not like, because obviously Bryan in kayfabe outclassed him for 65 minutes, whatever the hell it was. But in terms of like actually being in the ring, like he didn't look like Bryan was carrying him or nothing like that. So him doing the table spot is something I hadn't really seen before. And I thought the elbow drop was great. And it just showed his desperation.
Yeah, desperate. That's the word.
And then I liked the pile driver into it because it again showed his desperation, but it also played into the knee.
Yeah.
Which I thought was used well, but probably could have been used more. Same thing with the shoulder. I thought it was used well, but I thought it could have been used more.
So I would say my favorite spot, or I'm going to do two since he did two, but the first one was when they were on the apron and Bryan was kicking MJF's knee and MJF was slapping Bryan's shoulder. But I think my actual favorite part was when they were both in the ring and they both were striking so hard that they collapsed together to their knees and were basically head to head, like slouched over. And they cut to MJF, blood all over his face. He's basically crying. He doesn't want to be in this situation anymore. And they cut to Bryan, and he's laughing. He's having a great time. And then they get up, and that's when he does the no-sell on the chop. That was just
The no-sell on the
good.
chop was so good.
It was, because you just did not see it coming at that point in the match. They did it so well, and he didn't make a meal out of it, like, oh, look how tough I am. He just was like, enjoyed it. He was like, yeah, I'm glad we're doing this. Like, I'm glad you chopped me right now, you know? Like, that was nice.
We keep talking about it, but Bryan enjoyed himself a lot during the match in general.
Yeah, that was the whole point. Like, he was having fun taking MJF to his limits, and that was the whole point of having this Iron Man match in the first place.
So, where do you have these guys moving forward? What does MJF do next? What does Bryan do next?
Well, I was dead wrong about Bryan turning heel with the fucking BCC. I would also point out he didn't wear the colors tonight. You know, he didn't wear the BCC trunks. So
Closer.
oh, lo siento. So yeah, he
What the hell are BCC colors?
Black
he
and
wears
red.
like the white and the red with the blood trunks. He's worn them a couple of times. He wore them during the whole run to face MJF in the first place.
He even wore a BCC shirt.
Yeah, exactly. So he didn't wear them tonight. I
It's
don't
a
know
goddamn lie.
what they're doing with him in general. Like, I don't know if he's still with them or he splinters off, because he's a face now for the most part. And I think that the BCC has clearly been turning heel. So I don't know. As for MJF, there was a glaring omission of one Phil Brooks. So
Yeah, I really don't like. I have an idea of who his next challenger is, but I don't want it because I don't want this guy to lose. But
I mean, no, it's got to be Hangman. Am I right? Yeah. No, it's got to be. Why?
who did you think?
I thought you were going to talk about. I thought you were going to say Adam Cole, but maybe that's too soon.
I
No,
think
I
he's
wouldn't have
end game. I think because Adam Cole's coming back as a face, and I think they can.
I think they're hoping that he's endgame. But
See, I think
I think it'll work.
he's always been popular to the point that you could heat him up so easily, so quickly. I don't know that he's going to be at game, but he could be reasonably.
Or he's just all out. Like,
Is that the thing?
you could be at all, because what? We got Double or Nothing, that's Hangman.
wait,
Cole,
wasn't the
all
whole
out.
point of tonight supposed to be his first opponent?
No, that's when they do the new show, All Access.
Yeah, it's in a couple weeks.
Well, when he initially announced his comeback, it definitely was going to be for Revolution, because in the video, he looks up at the sign for Revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a weird situation, but
So
whatever. We can talk about that whenever Dynamite he actually wrestles on.
Who would he have wrestled?
Yeah, I mean, like, who had a match last minute that we can kind of just put two and two together?
I mean,
No,
Orange
really.
Cassidy got added to the card really late.
There's
Yeah.
no way it was going to face
he
Orange
was
Cassidy for a face match.
No.
Yeah.
Regardless of that, I was pretty adamant it was going to be Eddie Kingston. But
I
now
mean,
that
Orange Cassidy's got to be the person to detour MJF, first of all. But we'll get to that.
now that
eventually.
Eddie's Ring of Honor, I don't
Yeah.
think
Well,
that's
you want
happening.
to Ultimo Dragon fucking Orange Cassidy, so
Every belt in the company
Every title
and other
possible.
companies.
Oh, why not?
I think ROH title is going to be like the new IC title. It's like whoever has it is up next.
that's
I think
I don't think Claudio's up next, but
Yeah.
No, I just mean after Eddie wins, like that's
It's possible, but it depends on if they want the.
And now that they have a show, is my point.
Yeah, I don't know, but good
They have a
match.
Whatever.
Yeah, I reviewed it every Thursday. Gym of Honor, workshopping the name.
More people listen to his review than they did watch ROH.
I believe that. Good job, man.
Thanks, man. That's cold.
I mean, good for you, James, but that's cold.
Congratulations.
But all right, we should probably get to the next match.
Let's move on. Let's go back to the
I mean, we could keep talking about this match, but I'm just depressed. I don't want to be
Yeah.
depressed. Like other matches made me happier, even if the guys I liked lost. So I was like,
It's okay.
oh, thank you. I don't know why. I thought I was going to be
Do
funny.
that to the cat.
You think I was going to fucking Red Cross you?
I don't know why. All right. Is there any other things you wanted to say about this match? I feel like we nailed it.
No,
That was
the
awesome.
only thing I wanted to mention,
It was.
just to tie a bow on the Adam Cole thing, is I don't think that they're going to push him to the top of the card too soon. I think they want to make sure he can get back on the ring, be healthy, Because if that guy gets hit in the head the wrong way, he might be done permanently. So
I mean, they've been saying that about Bryan too, and
I know, but he had such a bad concussion. I mean, the things Britt was saying, I think it was in the New York Post.
Mhm.
Like, I think they want to ramp him up and also build him back up as a face. He's pretty much mostly been a heel in the company outside of the Bucks run when he joined. So
even then,
yeah, and even then
He was
they
just
were
popular.
kind of tweeners, yeah. But I think they bring him up to speed, and then maybe 6 months down the road he might be the challenger. But or genuinely, I think whenever they want to take the title off MJF, they probably put it on him, unless the Punk.
they're already
situation
setting
comes
up the
back
feud a little bit, like a little bit on Twitter
Yeah,
with MJF calling out. No, what's it? Britt called out MJF in a video, and then MJF responded via Twitter, and then Britt shut him down beautifully.
Adam did too, but Britt killed him
Wait,
way
so we're
more.
building towards a Britt versus MJF
The
match,
true
which
pillars.
sounds more interesting promo-wise, honestly. But
Yes, like you said, yeah, the pillars, the actual pillars of
AEW.
motherfucking AEW. Let's go. All right, but like James said, let us move on because we could sit here all night talking about this match. So we will go back to the top of the card, which saw Chris Jericho face off against Ricky Starks in a match that we saw 6 weeks ago on Dynamite.
Yep.
It was.
Hold on, let me take the wheel for this one.
Please do, because you saw more of this than I did.
I watched parts of it. You watched most of it.
Yeah, I
Most of it's a stretch as it is. But,
I watched part of this on my phone on, through certain means because I was a little late.
yeah, we all kind of I got here 8 on the dot, but because of other circumstances, we weren't able to watch right away. So I'll just say that this match was fine from potential crowd
You're
reaction,
breathing into it.
but the ending was fine. It was silly. It depended on how you feel about it, but basically Ricky Starks straight up blocked a Judas effect by just putting his arm up.
Wow, you can do that?
Yeah,
Apparently.
it's wild. Yeah. You know how like sometimes wrestlers go for strikes and the other person puts their arm up, but then they sell it like they got hit dead in the face. Ricky was like doing that, but instead of selling, he was like, "No, I protected myself."
I thought the only person who could block strikes was Malachi Black. Other people
Yeah.
can do that now?
Yeah, and then
Is that like a perk you have to unlock or something?
I know it sounds ridiculous, but I love that it happened because I really want this to be the end of that move.
Oh, for the love! Oh, I don't care about the move. Just for the love of God, end the feud.
Oh no, I mean the feud's over. The feud's over no matter what.
it's a Jericho feud. You can't say that confidently until we see them both in different feuds.
That's
We
pretty
have
fair.
to tread lightly here. Let's not say anything
Who's the patron
crazy.
saint of feuds ending? Can I pray to him?
But anyway, the match was whatever. It's weird that they started the show with this, but hey, Ricky's won both singles matches in the feud. Let's take this and like you said, hopefully it's over, but we just can't say for sure it's over because it's Jericho. But yeah, I don't know. Do you guys have anything to say about this? I feel like we can move on. We didn't see it. To really have opinions.
I'll say this one thing. Despite us all being very lukewarm on it, and it's not just us, a lot of people were lukewarm on it, the crowd was here for it. And the crowd was here for the entire show.
San Fran showed out tonight.
They really did. But considering this match felt like middle of the card, they did not treat it as such, thankfully, for that opener. And they were rewarded for it. And I just want Ricky to move on. Let him get whatever title. But
There's no titles for him to get right now, but I understand.
FTW. He could take it
He
back.
just had it.
Nah,
That's-
the Hook's not losing anytime soon.
I don't care. I just want him to have gold again.
See, that's the problem. Like,
Or
I
bronze
think
in case of
we
that
say
belt.
this every week on the weekly. Like, he should have a title, but the All
Orange
Atlantic is
Cassidy's
wrapped up
hogging
with
it.
Orange Cassidy, and I don't think he should beat Orange just because.
Face versus face.
Yeah, exactly. And
Because Orange
Wardlow,
is the best.
spoiler, we'll get to it in a bit. He just won the TNT back. So, what the fuck does Ricky do?
Yeah, he's stuck.
So,
Yeah, he can wrestle Jericho for another month then, I guess.
no.
All right, moving on. What happened next?
Like,
Wait,
the thing is-
what would you have had open the show if not this match?
I'm gonna be honest. This is gonna be controversial, but I would have the women's match open the show because they're never gonna do it ever because AEW hates women. But this was a chance to do it. If you're gonna let this lukewarm feud open the show, you could have had that lukewarm feud open the show.
I thought the trios match was going to open.
That would have. I thought that would have made the most
Yeah,
sense.
because that match.
That would have made
fucked.
sense, but I think you just give it to because they're never gonna let the women main event a pay per view because they have to go through the same trials and tribulations that WWE women wrestlers has to go through. So maybe like 30 years from now, they can main event an AEW
Oh
pay-per-view.
boy, we're
But
in for a long haul.
just have them
I thought
open.
Saraya was there to like speed this up. Wasn't that the whole point?
She started the women's revolution thing.
The evolution.
And,
She
and-
started with
and
it.
ended it apparently.
Oh God.
No, we almost Stephanie McMahon started the women's revolution. What's wrong
Well,
with
she
you?
left WWE, so
There you
know.
I would have
Touche.
started with the Hangman match since it was so long. I would have just
See, but you don't want to burn the crowd out.
Yeah.
yeah, but you get everyone hyped. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I will say this: the card itself, this was one of those times where it actually kind of almost played it out like a boxing pay-per-view, where you had your undercard and you purposely had your undercard where the matches aren't as important as the ones that came after it.
Yeah.
So like I do think they did a good job of ramping up the importance as the card went on.
Do you know what boxing is, James?
I think it's a Canadian holiday.
It's about punching.
Is that like from the box goes from Danny Phantom? Is that what he's talking about?
You know, boxing like Jake Paul's and does it. You know that sport.
That sport where like
Uh,
losers fight.
That
Yeah.
fucking scripted shit where influencers pretend to fight each other.
We're hurting him right now.
Oh, I know. I love boxing so much, and the state it's in just depresses me. In general.
Oh, is that like the thing where the rock'em sock'em thing where you put the big
Exactly.
fluffy
the
rubber
real
things
steel
on your
grip
hands?
starring Hugh
Oh,
Jackman.
yeah, the Rock and Sock Robots. I love Rock and Sock.
I think
Robots.
Jake Paul could probably beat Canelo in the next pay-per-view, right?
Go sit in the penalty box. I don't
He
care
is in the
where the
penalty
penalty
box.
box is. Go find one.
He's
and
living in it
sit
right now.
He just spent 2 months in the penalty box, but that's real world stuff. We got to move on here.
Yeah. So all right, moving on from Ricky Starks and Chris Jericho because that feud should have ended, and so should this segment.
Yeah.
I want to say one last thing on it because can we just point out the stupidity of Sammy Guevara coming to ringside when he was banned from ringside?
Yeah, let's see if there's any consequences to that. We'll see.
I doubt it.
Exactly. Like that's how dumb it was. So here's a rule, a stipulation that we're putting in place. We're gonna break it. Action Andretti's gonna show up because fine, and then nothing's gonna come of it.
A lot of people thought Action was going to join the Jericho Appreciation
Well,
Society.
maybe he tackled him right before he got to ringside, so maybe it's a loophole.
He didn't get to the bottom of the ramp, so it doesn't
Yeah.
technically count.
Yeah,
You are technically correct, the best kind of correct.
there we go.
All right, what was
Jeez
next?
Louise. All right, after that, we saw Christian Cage go up against Jungle Boy Jack Perry in what they called the final burial, aka it was casket match, but they just put the casket up at the top of the ramp.
It was a
and-
buried alive match. Okay.
but they didn't bury anybody.
It was a buried casket alive match.
It was a casket fell match.
Okay. Well, it's more realistic than a buried alive match because someone went 6 feet under. So
Yeah.
Well, last time I checked, there was a no holds barred until
They changed it on
I
Rampage.
know, still, yeah. And I said this while we were watching it. I wouldn't know that. I haven't watched Rampage in 6 months.
So,
That's
spoiler,
not true. Rampage is solid.
spoiler,
I still
Jungle
watch.
Boy beat Christian Cage.
Did he now?
And
Mhm.
Vince McMahon must have like had a tear in his eye that a lid was closed on Christian's face. But I actually really liked the match, and I'm going to say something that's going to upset Danny. I think it should have gone longer. I feel like the match was too short.
upset me.
More Jungle Boy.
Yeah, but
But
more
more face
Christian.
Christian.
Yeah.
I guess that's true.
It,
Yeah.
it balances out.
Did you
Christian's
see-
a better face than Jungle Boy is a heel. So.
See, but we saw what happens when you have a long match and the face loses. It ruined the night for us. So if you did that again with Christian losing,
That's a fair point.
yeah,
That's a fair point.
Did you see how hard that dastardly heel Jungle Boy laid in that concerto to
Like,
Christian?
watching the replay, it was scary how
Whoa.
like he might have actually killed him.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to do into business for himself, the fucking sniveling heel bastard that he is. Okay, on Wednesday he took Darby Allin's video package style, shooting a little emo after school film, you know, and tonight he's wearing Hangman's outfit. That's why Hangman came out in a different outfit. Spoilers for later, but you know, he just takes from everyone. He took from Christian, he took from Luchasaurus, he took from Darby, now he is taking from Hangman, and he's taking from Kane and Undertaker by fucking burying someone alive. Man, all this guy does is fucking take. All that Christian did was take him in. How many dead dads does this guy fucking need, bro? What kind of Oedipus complex is this, man?
god.
Sheesh. Right?
Whoa.
That hurt to hear.
Oh, okay.
Somebody,
Christian could say it, but I can't.
somebody get the image of Jungle Boy with his single tear coming down his cheek from Dynamite. I liked it. I feel like Jungle Boy they're really slow building him, and these feuds have really been helping him develop as a character. And when he goes full heel and just takes the title off Orange Cassidy,
yeah, see, that's a problem almost, because this kid also deserves a title, and
No, he doesn't.
it's him.
What the fuck?
Just. I'm sorry. I'm ditching the bed for a second. He also deserves a title, but Ricky does too. So we have two titles that
make
can
him a
be
tag
taken.
team, put him on, give him the tag title.
Yes, more Franken teams, please. No,
Better than what we have now.
Yeah, at this point, I'll take Franken team over the actual tag team.
Oh, yeah, at least they're
matchups.
over. But no, seriously, so I think Jungle Boy should get a title. He's going to get one by the end of the year. That's not even a question.
It's just a matter of which title.
And Ricky definitely deserves one. So
I'm less confident about Ricky getting a title than Jungle Boy.
Oh,
I'm less confident about
yeah.
Jungle Boy, actually.
You think so?
Yeah, he's already had the tag titles.
No, they specifically said he wants to get a singles title in 2023, and I think that's going to happen. I don't think they would specifically say that. Were he not to win
Okay,
a
cool.
title
You
in the future.
get an ROH title, I guess. Whatever. We give
He's
this
not
anyone.
wrong.
See, I see Ricky actually getting an ROH.
He's out of line, but he's right.
No, see, because I say it actually because he could be a challenger for MJF, not on a pay per view, obviously. Imagine this fucking loser main event in a pay per view, but like for a TV special, you know, like
I'm
when
cool
you're in
with
Long
that.
Island, have Jungle Boy, because he is a heel anyway, so have MJF, you know, because he's a face for a night in Long Island. That's his title contender for the night. You know, gets a good TV win, and there you go.
I'd be good with that because they had their feud before, and obviously they've always said they're going to revisit it. So I think that would be a solid TV feud. I'm actually
I
good for
wouldn't
it.
be shocked if one of the pillars. Well, I guess it would only be Jungle Boy. Well, no, I mean Darby, but I don't know. I don't know.
They had a great
Darby
match.
feud would
at
be
Full
good, too.
Gear last
No.
year.
What I'm saying is, I think it would make a lot of sense for one of the pillars to be one of the guys to be the guy to take the title off of MJF down the line. But I don't see Darby being the guy to do it.
I see Darby more likely than.
No, I do, but I actually just don't see either of them being the guy to do it, even though it would make sense for one of them to be the one to do it.
We also
Who's
just
the other
spent 5
pillar?
minutes saying it's going to be a
Sammy.
Sammy.
He's not
Yeah,
Sammy
never.
ain't doing shit. I mean, no, Sammy's a great heel, actually. So he'll probably win the TNT title 2 more times. But,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. I mean, hey, the face won the first match. Heel wins the second match. It's balanced, right?
As all things should be.
I want Luchasaurus back.
Same, but it's hard to have it when someone's backstage politicking to bury his more over tag team partner.
Would you take?
It was Jungle Boy that reported that copyright with the mask.
Jesus Christ! Would you take him back if he wasn't Luchasaurus? Like if he ditched the Dino?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, what the hell? No,
I mean, because that might have to be the case if
I've
they can't
watched
figure
his
it out.
brother.
All he
He's
can do
not-
is.
I think he
Really?
could get a different mask.
Yeah, he could
You
just
just
he's a
make
what is
a
it,
new
Triceratops now? He could be a Stegosaurus. Like it doesn't.
You mean like
It
the
doesn't matter what
Velociraptor?
type of dinosaur he is, as long as it's a dinosaur.
Okay.
Yeah, it just has to be odd dinosaur.
All right. Well, fair.
I'm sure you can figure
You
it
see
out.
the new Suicune? Okay, the Paradox Suicune. He's a
He does
fucking
look
dinosaur.
really cool.
It's
Yeah, it looks
awesome.
really cool.
It's so good. But yeah, what happened after this move?
Those paradox things trip me out.
Yeah, they are. They're
But
weird.
I love the finish of it. I love the closing of the casket and the casket just dropping to parts unknown.
It's a very structurally
Tower
unsound
of Doom?
casket.
Tower of Doom, yeah. Tower of Terror.
There we go. But I don't know. I'm a Universal Studios person, so
I understand. Me too.
Well, I like this match as well. I thought it was a good closing of the loop on Jungle Boy embracing his inner heel and hitting a nasty ass
And
concerto
we're
on
back.
Christian.
Right. Also, just Rev, because you were going to forget to talk about this, and you didn't want to forget to talk about this.
Oh no.
But babyface Christian coming out in a sleeveless turtleneck.
Yes,
I
the
think
man
it was
wore
sexy.
sleeveless turtlenecks.
It was
So good.
sexy.
That was a choice.
How can you see it as any other way besides Christian as the face?
He's at the very least he's a bold man.
Look, if I looked like that, I'd be rocking a sleeveless turtleneck too, but I don't. So I gotta rock baggy jerseys so I don't look like I have a beer gut.
How much more often do you think we're going to see Jungle Boy's mom and sister show up to like his matches?
I mean, probably not ever again because they were there for Christian, and now he's going to be gone for a while.
Exactly. Yeah. The man died.
Yeah.
And, all right, so going
Just,
back,
I think.
Just really quick, I'm on Twitter as one does during a podcast. Somebody said MJF at the media scrum, he calls himself the best in the world, best wrestler in the world, and then mildly references CM Punk again. I can't listen to it because we're here, but yeah.
I'm
Thank you, producer boy.
again, spoiler, we were all pretty not surprised, but we were kind of expecting, maybe hoping to see Punk come back tonight, and that didn't happen.
Yeah,
I think we were expecting like some sort of surprise,
I
and the
was
best we got was in the tag match.
I was expecting Jay White tonight, if I'm going to be honest, and the fact
didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah.
Didn't even cross my mind.
really, I was
I think
expecting
everyone's so
You thought
convinced
he
he's
was-
going to WWE.
He
that-
thought he was going to be the surprise at the end against MJF.
No, not necessarily. No, not against MJF. But
Although,
just showing up at
that'd be interesting.
the surprise
No,
of the night.
So
at some point.
Jay White's showing up at WrestleMania. He's actually going to help Bobby
Yeah.
Lashley beat
Yeah,
Bray
I-
Wyatt, so it could be Jay and Bobby. Jay
I
and
think-
Silent Bobby.
Yeah.
Then Bobby doesn't cut any more promos because he's not good at them. And then
that
there we
came
go.
out so fluid and so beautiful. And I know you didn't have that prepared because you wouldn't have expected me to say Jay White. That
there's
was
no way.
bravo.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Bravo.
you. What happened after this match?
I was going to say it really quick. I think at this point he's WWE bound.
You think so?
If he didn't show up at the pay per view, I mean, maybe this week
Huh.
we'll see. But
I think you're right. This would have been the time.
Yeah.
So
Which is
crazy.
crazy because I just don't think he's going to be as big a deal in WWE as
I think
as
he
we
has the
think.
tools too. I just
I
don't know
think
if
he does
they'll
too.
allow
I
he
think
him.
he
can't
does
yell
too. I just-
fuck anymore, which is unfortunate.
I think he's
He
I
can't
think
yell
he's a
fuck
star.
anymore.
Yeah. What?
I think he's a star. I mean, I know it's WWE, so how do you do
I
that?
think
But
you have him be Cody's number one contender. He loses, and then he goes on to mediocrity from there. But he has a great first 2 months.
Have
And
him
then there we
beat
go.
Cody for the title and then have Sammy beat him for the title.
I do think they run the risk of
Terrible.
like nobody knowing who he is when he shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different from AJ, where like I
He's
think
not as big of a deal as
Well,
he
and the
was.
crowds are just genuinely
Well,
more
he's just-
divided now.
he's
Yeah.
also like straight up New Japan as opposed to AJ was TNA and New Japan and ROH.
Yeah, let's not forget TNA used to actually get ratings that AEW would dream of, and that honestly they used to get ratings of what
The weirdest
WWE
way.
gets now.
Yeah.
So people know AJ more than they would know Jay White.
But also to what Danny just said, like the crowd now for WWE is not as hard. Like it's not internet fans as much
Yeah, they all
anymore.
pretty much migrated to AEW.
Right. So if Jay White comes out, there's like 4-year-olds, like who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah. They're gonna be like, oh, that looks like a creepy uncle. Yeah,
I
right.
No, they're gonna think he's Uncle Howdy. Everyone's like, he's got the same.
Got the beard.
Well, I think we did mention on a podcast we don't go on tangents, but then back up.
I mean,
but I think we did mention
yeah,
on the
we did.
podcast that
This whole thing has been a tangent.
yeah, that we thought that if they were going to debut Jay White for WWE, it should be in a more smarky city,
Just
so they would
not to cut you
know.
off. You can't see comments. I got a comment from Salvador Perez. MJF is the best wrestling. And to MJF is.
Au contraire, not only can I see comments, I already put that one off.
Did you really?
Yes.
Damn! Oh my god.
MJF is the best.
Wrestling
Wrestling.
world. Well,
Okay.
he's not wrong.
And what was the other
John
comment?
versus Adam, fantastic.
John versus Adam, fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down to see that. This
Yeah.
Nick Nick M would want that as the main event of
Main
WrestleMania.
event of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
MJF is incredible. I don't think he's the best wrestler in the world. He's the craftiest wrestler in the world tonight.
I do think he proved himself to be one of the better wrestlers in the world, though.
Well,
tonight.
you gotta just go at it in kayfabe. It's a fair claim to make when the guy wins a big.
Yeah, in
Oh,
kayfabe,
you know
yeah,
what?
he is.
Because I
Well,
was
no
having
moments.
technical difficulties during the main event. I did forget some of the points I want to make. So, not to just go on another tangent, but to rewind all the way back.
It's a tangent within
I would like to say that not only did Bryan do such a good job as a babyface, making us believe he can win because he's that special,
Yep.
but MJF in this one match proved that he is on Roman's level in terms of being that good of a heel and crafting the match so perfectly that you think the babyface is going to win, even though you know it makes no sense because you know the plan. You know he's not losing the title for at least a year, but he made you believe still. And that's what Roman did with Sammy, and that's what Roman does once in a while in his matches. So MJF already proved in his first pay-per-view match that he is that level of champion. And anyway, what happened after the heel Jungle Boy buried Christian alive?
I feel like this is the fourth time you've thrown me to go to the next match. So I'm going to take
a match he doesn't want to talk
Yeah,
about.
no, I'm going to absolutely. You're right.
Oh yeah, can we speed through this one too? Yeah.
No,
what happened
because,
after this match?
no, because the next match on the card was the Elite versus the House of Black. Yes, please.
Because
we
the right
definitely will. It was for the AEW World Trios Championships. The House of Black, after just laying in, I think, every finisher they've ever created, pick up the titles. I'm hyped. This match was great.
It was.
James, we were saying for the preview show that this match was probably going to steal the show. I don't know if it did, but it was definitely one of the better, if not the best match on the card. And I think we had this down pat.
Yeah,
House of Black won. This match was phenomenal, and it needed a better build to make it more impactful.
I would say the main event was the best match of the night, but I'd say this was the most fun match of the night. I had a lot of fun watching this match.
Definitely a better way.
It was, depending on how you view it, I view it as a good thing. It felt like a video game match. You know, it's there was finisher spam that was like reasonable to either be interrupted or kicked out of. Like nothing, no one kicked out of anything that I feel they shouldn't have. And I feel like the match ended in the best way. Like I don't mind what feels like this should end a match being interrupted by a tag partner.
Yeah,
like that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And there was a bunch of those moments. I'm sad, obviously, that the Elite lost, just because I never want to see them lose.
Wait, real quick. Who's on your shirt? What kind of shirt is that?
Kenny Omega.
Okay, just check.
Bang. And
Mick Foley reference? Weird.
No, that's a double bang. But Kenny, like we talked about it as the match started. When we were going into the predictions the other day, man, I wanted to see Kenny versus this guy. I wanted to see Kenny versus this guy, and they gave it to me in this match. I had Kenny versus Buddy Matthews, and it was an incredible opening of that match. And then they gave me Kenny versus Malachi, and that was just as good. It was incredible.
And then they gave us Matt Jackson calling out Birdie, and Birdie stepped in, and Matt went, nope, and Nick and Kenny refused to tag in.
my biggest sadness is that this match didn't have the feud that it deserved.
The match was amazing. The feud was bad.
Exactly. Yes. And I would have loved to have seen Kenny versus Buddy 1-on-1 or Kenny versus Malachi 1-on-1. And I'm disappointed we didn't get that, but they gave me a good taste of it tonight. And I'm sure when the Elite get their rematch and win the titles back, because that's what they do.
Bite your tongue.
I don't want to. That's going to hurt.
It's a saying.
Just
James
Salvador Perez with another comment.
What did Sal say? Salvador. I don't want to.
Tomorrow, Raw favorite to WrestleMania to my Cody Rhodes, Rey Mysterio, and Brock Lesnar and Bobby.
Those are a good list of favorites to have, Sal.
Mm-hmm.
Those are a list of favorites.
Followed by please WWE Brock Lesnar versus Omos. No. Wow.
We're pretty much in agreement.
Bobby versus Bray is important. Returns of Mask.
Salvador, I will say, Danny will be live tomorrow for the Raw Fast Forward, so
check him out.
I have a good feeling about that. I think it's going to be good.
Danny will definitely back you up on
with Danny the entire show and let him know all of your thoughts.
Yeah, because Danny will definitely back you up on not having Brock Lesnar versus Omos, I imagine.
It's
going to be impressive.
You can find out tomorrow.
It's going to be 2 minutes long.
You can find out tomorrow. But we are going to do our best to stay focused on AEW tonight. So,
but you can still put those comments. We'll acknowledge them.
We'll definitely acknowledge them.
Keep them coming, Salvador. Tell us your favorite lunch, dinner,
oh my god!
Want.
Yeah. Oh my god! No, breakfast. Breakfast.
Yeah. We skip breakfast.
Brunch?
We count calories in this room.
Lunch is like
if you're going to skip a meal, it's not breakfast.
No, that's
people skip breakfast. Like that's a little messed up. But like lunch is something you need to do, but it's not something it's not the best meal of the day. It's something you have to have.
What if you wake up at like 3 o'clock and lunch is your breakfast?
Breakfast is the first meal of the day. It doesn't matter what time.
Yeah, no, it breaks your fast. So I skip lunch every day then.
Okay.
Because you got to have a big dinner like I just had with the White Castle situation.
wake up at 3
That's a
o'clock.
big dinner.
Right?
What?
It's
A
a
slider
small
was a big dinner.
but it's just
That
a
was
lot of
1,000
calories.
calories. What are you
Yeah,
gonna
but
do?
it's just small. It's very small.
All
But
right,
anyway,
all
this
right,
match.
moving on.
This
So
match.
Anyway, true match. Hey, Denny.
we had great strikes. We had great counters. We had moments of genuine suspense.
A lot of great near
Yeah, I really thought they were going to retain
Yeah.
after they broke up the Black Mass or whatever it's called now.
Yeah.
I really thought the heels were going to retain here and beat the other heels.
How great was that Black Mass to Kenny? You marked out.
That fucking cell was gorgeous. The man did a split to sell that. Oh, it was so good. Oh, it was so good. I love that. I need Kenny versus Malachi straight up now. I need that.
I agree. I agree.
That would be
Where do you have the
phenomenal.
elite going? Either individually or as a team or what?
Probably home, I would say.
You know you don't mean that about Kenny.
I think
Singles
the Bucks are needed more in the tag division than Kenny is in the singles division right now. But
I mean, MJF needs someone else to beat.
yeah, Hangman, Adam Cole,
It's
Jungle Boy, Darby.
Matt Hardy has Kenny as the guy to beat MJF.
That would be dumb.
I agree. I would take it, but
I mean, I'd take it over certain people, but like, I think it'd be a waste. Like, why do we do all this?
He'd be first two-time champ then. So
Which I am always for. 2-time champs, we gotta start having them. But
Hold on. No, you guys are talking, but Salvador's back.
okay.
Oh, that is out.
John Cena versus Austin Theory, end of era, E generation, new E young in Austin E, future of Vince McMahon interested to WWE.
Salvador, you're going to be very disappointed when John Cena wins the U.S. title again.
No, he's not gonna.
I know.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if he did because I don't give a fuck about Austin Theory. But like,
Theory's going to
Yeah.
cheat so fucking much in that match. I'm
yeah,
not worried
it'll be
about
fun. It'll be fun because you know what, Theory's winning me over. I feel nothing.
Wow.
Coming around on Theory.
Yeah, no, it's, like the Chamber was good. The Chamber was really, really good. So I give him his props. The match with Edge was boring, but Chamber was good.
I went on the record my leg is asleep now because I have to sit like this because of the cat.
She is so comfortable right
I know,
now.
and
She's
that's why I don't
knocked
want
out.
There you go.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous. But yeah,
I'm
this
a little
match
nuts because I'm sitting like this and
this match was so
destroying
fun.
me.
The trios match?
Yeah, it was a good time. And if you're gonna have a shit feud, this makes up for it by having the
agree.
title change. I will say, why did they win the titles at all? Just
But
to
like
lose them right
we've
now.
been saying since they came back that the House of Black should have won these titles. I just thought it should have been built more
Yeah, but I don't understand
because
the
we were
point.
all here for this title change.
Yeah, I just don't understand the point of what we just went through. Like, why did they win the title? Why didn't they just keep it on Death Triangle again? Like,
Producer boy.
I don't understand.
Producer boy. You need a different remote that one of us has to be set
Oh my
up.
god, I
You
don't have to
specifically
broadcast
want to this.
this.
No, I know to turn the TV on. I didn't know that was
turn
going to
the
happen.
TV on this podcast.
Anyways, it's not important.
Oh,
It's
that
not
one. You
important.
give that one to her.
I'm gonna throw this.
Don't do
Please
that.
don't.
I'm gonna throw it. I'm
So
gonna throw
can
it.
we get this on again? 1, 2, 5.
I am so proud of both of you. Guys, I know that wasn't on
That
camera.
was an awful throw by Danny and
What are
an
you
amazing
talking
catch
about? I
by me.
throw it so lightly
I
because
almost knocked down
Ginger
all of this with whatever this is.
yeah, because I wanted to throw it from here to there. Which
I
would have gone
just
better.
feel
No,
it was on a side camera, but geez Louise.
Amazing. But anyway,
Oh, hell
what
of a
happened after
catch,
this?
What happened?
So what happened after this?
But
What did you think of
Danny's producing this show more than producer in terms of keeping it on track.
He's like the story supervisor. You know,
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, yeah. So after this, we had Jamie Hayter versus Ruby Soho versus Saraya for the AEW World Women's Championship. I enjoyed this match a lot. I'm glad the
I
women
did too.
got to show out because it feels like they never get to, but they did. It was really, really good. Obviously, Jamie Hayter, retained after she basically not rolled up, but
Yeah,
a
that's
penny
all right.
predicament, as Excalibur would like to say, and she got Ruby Soho down for 3. After the match, Tony Storm jumped in, and Saraya and Tony were jumping Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Jamie until Ruby broke it up. And then when Jamie raised Ruby's hand, Ruby hit the no future? Is that the kick?
No, I think it's the Destination Unknown.
Yeah, Destination Unknown.
I always get them backwards. So she hit the Destination Unknown kick onto Jamie, and then hit a no future onto Britt Baker. Turned heel, spray painted the L onto both of them after she was given the spray paint can by Saraya, and she has joined those two SOBs. So, like I said, Danny, I like this match. Like I said, I'm glad the women got the shot. It was a lot of fun. I'm not mad at Ruby. I'm disappointed, and I mean that in the most bad way possible. I almost wanted to remain neutral. I thought that would have been cooler, but we are now continuing to build the faction wars for the women, so I am here for that.
Yeah, I'm here for it too, and I was very into this match as well. I would also like to say that this is the cleanest page turner that Saraya has hit since coming back.
Seriously.
Like, it looked really good. It looked like what it used to look like. So that's really good because the first couple have looked like the one she had on AJ. So this is a nice bounce back. Good job,
She seems
Jamie.
to be bouncing back a bit more so right now. She has a little more ring time.
Yeah.
The rust is coming off.
She looked the
It's
smoothest she ever did here.
It's hard without house shows. Like, if you're only wrestling like once every month or like maybe twice a month, you're not gonna like shake it off. You need to be in there like every week, unfortunately.
Yeah,
even
but when
if
you're in
you're
a
doing
situation
it
like that, you
yourself.
do have to ease into it. So
Yeah,
you're in a
no, of
weird
course.
balancing act where you can only wrestle so much, but you have to ease into it. But you need to wrestle more to get back into the flow of things. But I think this was a great showing for everyone, and I would like to say, I'm very curious because now that the outsiders have Ruby, they have someone who's not a foreigner. So I don't know how James feels about this faction now. Do you still hate them because it's still outweighed two foreigners to one? But like Ruby was the original Runaway, so in a way that's almost like another type of foreigner. So you probably hate her too in a way.
It really hurts because I like her. So I can't defend myself at all here against this accusation. I think Ruby is in the right spot because she's better as a heel than she is as a face. She's really good as a face. Like, she's really good at getting the crowd behind her, but she feels more comfortable as a heel, it looks like.
I don't necessarily agree. I mean, I know what you mean, but I also think it's because it's just the face run has been botched by the company.
Fair.
So she needed to freshen things up. But I'm sorry, Rev, you had a question?
Honestly, am I true? I don't remember Ruby as a heel like anywhere.
In WWE, the Riot Squad.
The Riot Squad, yeah.
She was a heel
They were
forever.
healing.
No, they were not kinda. They were.
Yeah, they were
the
healing.
Tanker sisters from Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Oh, that's actually perfect. Yeah. But yeah, she was only a face for like 4 months before getting
I
fired.
got to give credit to Ali for that one.
Just another note from Salvador. Battle Royal of Andre in WrestleMania interested to continue tradition for opportunity for champions.
That'd be traditional.
I think that's
their,
a long run.
Is that even a tradition? Does the
No,
winner
that's
get a
not
title
right.
shot?
No, I think one time. I think Carmella got a title shot from. So yeah, I don't think that's really a thing. But they didn't even do it on WrestleMania last year, or the year before. They did it on SmackDown,
Yeah,
and then they didn't do it at all last year.
terrible.
So
I'm so
whatever.
glad they built that big, beautiful trophy to just
For nothing.
keep it in Claudio's garage.
No. It got broken when Mojo had it, I think.
No, when Baron Corbin had it too.
Oh, Baron Corbin. Oh.
Shows what I know.
But, yeah, I thought the match was really fun. I was a big fan of it. Not much. I don't like the roll up finish. I'm just not a fan of it. But
Well, like I said, it wasn't so much of a roll up as it was a pinning predicament.
it's a roll up.
You can call it what you want to call it. It's a roll up, which is fine. But I think that's how we're supposed to feel because that's what threw Ruby off.
I know,
Ruby
but
got
Jamie's the
rolled
baby
up.
face in the match. Like,
Ruby?
no, Jamie.
Oh,
So
yeah,
when you
Jamie.
do finisher. But I get it.
What the
Like,
hell is he eating? Is that a pickle?
I think it's a pickle. I don't know if producer boy is showing that picture
yeah, I
right
think
now.
that's a pickle.
But
I hope that's a pickle.
yeah.
That is disgusting.
I think it's a pickle.
Pickles are good, man.
Pickles are
I
good.
didn't like pickles when I was like, a kid, but
That is
I'm not a
Yeah.
pickle guy. I hate pickles. Like,
it's-
is there even like if I get a McDonald's order and they put them on there by accident, I can taste them.
Yeah,
it completely fucks
seeps
the burger up.
I agree.
see, I grew out of that. I used to feel that way, but then I grew up.
I've been a picky eater for decades.
Yeah,
So
so have I.
About
That's one of,
three of
that's
them.
one of the, I'll be honest, that's one of the few things I can rat up. So I'm not like,
Danny's like, I used to be like you, and then I grew the fuck up.
I did clearly. So
yeah, hold on real quick. Do you guys, you don't drink coffee, right, James?
No, I
You're a
don't drink
fucking
coffee.
weirdo. Do you drink coffee, Ralph?
occasionally, I like coffee. I don't drink it on
Do you
the
put milk
reg.
in your coffee?
Hmm?
Do you put milk in your coffee?
Sometimes depends on what I'm
Grow up,
drinking.
man. Grow up. Producer boy?
If I'm doing regular coffee, it's
Do you
milk,
drink
2
coffee?
sugars. If it's
No,
espresso,
coffee's
it's
Oh, okay. You're a freak too. That's yeah, cool.
if it's regular coffee,
You're at
I'm
White Castle. Fuck you.
You're being
No,
ignored.
actually, coffee's amazing if you have French vanilla creamer.
Okay, so you're a girl and a child. Okay.
What's wrong
gotcha.
with being a girl, Danny?
Yeah, you know what? You got me there. On face value, nothing. But in terms of, mindless consumption of coffee,
Girls do that. Girls
yeah,
do that a
you can
lot.
drink a nice coffee with all the extra stuff. You're drinking like 600 calories and it doesn't fill you up. So kind of empty calories, you know?
That hits so close to home right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't the AEW live recap. This is the roast of Producer Boy.
And WWE conversation too. Tony Khan, necessary of Conan Wrestling, Cubano to backstage and ideas principal to on product, best to AEW, come AEW, in necessary duo, Tony Khan and Conan. So I believe you're saying that you think Conan from AAA and Tony Khan, is it AAA or is it CMLL? It's AAA.
Conan?
Right?
I know, I say AAA.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So Tony Khan and Conan should work together. I think they do already.
To some degree.
Yeah,
No,
just-
Conan I think was trying to angle for an AEW job, and then Tony didn't give him the time of day.
Yeah,
so
but
now
he still
been
allows
shitting.
his guys to work in AAA.
Fair, but he has
Yeah.
also been shitting on AEW. It's
Yeah.
Conan, man.
Anyway, do you guys have any other thoughts on the match? Or?
Oh, I was gonna say, my thoughts
The
on
women's
the
match. Of course, you were tuned out because we're talking about the women's match.
I hate you. I liked it. The right person won. The feud is moving in the right direction. I think they got to get better with the spray paint. I just don't think it looks bad enough.
Do
You know,
send them to a graffiti school or just put them on the freaking corner of
I think
Tremont
it's-
Avenue and let them learn for like an hour? Like,
I
for
think
fuck's
it's the-
sake.
You just
Green.
dox James so hard.
Wait, what happened?
What? Nothing.
No, we're not near Tremont. Well,
What?
We're not
What's
really.
Tremont Avenue?
I just think the green doesn't work. It's too light.
we want like a black. Well, because they can't do black because NWO. Like it would.
No,
be
I
too-
get that, but like weirdly, I know I
I
just
mean,
said
they're
this.
doing
Like,
like
maybe a
DX
red?
green. So,
Yeah.
Like you think
I
red
mean,
would work better?
red would work really well. I think.
You think it would pop more?
a scarlet letter. I'm making that.
Perfect.
Fuck that book. It's barely even English. I didn't read a single word of that shit. I went and I saw
I was so passionate.
I saw a page over on Sentence and went on Spark Note this whole thing. Fuck that book.
But anyway, yeah, I don't have much more to say on that. I think it was a very good match. I think it was the most competent match of the night, even though I agree the roll-up was weak. I think it served its purpose.
Yeah, I could meet you in the middle on that. There, but
I do think that there is a definite jump off point here that AEW can capitalize on, and if they don't do it right, they could fuck this up real fast with Ruby.
well, it's gonna get fucked up real fast because it's AEW. But anyway,
I'm just happy she's doing something.
yeah, we'll
But
take it.
I think they could play this right and roll it into continuing this feud, and I think eventually we do get to a blood and guts match.
It's possible.
I think it's very possible.
That's how Jade
we'll see.
gets involved.
Yeah, we'll end. I don't know about Jay, but we'll see where Sheeta comes back when she comes back from her finger injury / Japan. We'll see where her involvement and her allegiances lie, and I genuinely do think that this could, lead to something really, really good. So I'm hyped for it.
I agree with that. And what happened after this? Do we have another title match?
We did. Well, we didn't, but we're going to skip the next match because I want to close with it. So we will go to the next title match,
Oh,
which
shit.
was
Okay, I did
the
have that.
four-way for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. It was between the Guns, who were the champions, versus the Acclaimed, versus Jeff Jarrett and the Slapnuts, versus Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. So this was about as chaotic as we all expected it to be. And then Danny ended with the Guns winning as they pinned Danhausen, and with a move I didn't know existed called the 310 to Yuma, which actually is a great name. And then the entire crowd went silent.
Pin drop silent. Like they were loud. Literally, right before that move was hit, they were still loud because they were into the
Daniels
match.
was about to win.
Yeah, the crowd was
So we
into it.
thought.
The crowd was into the whole match. The Guns win. This does not happen in AEW. I cannot stress that enough. In AEW, everyone gets reactions. Everyone gets pops. Everyone gets heat. There's never silence. This is the Guns are the only people to get silence in AEW. And like, this is annoying because I don't want to just pin it on nepotism because of Billy Gunn, because he's clearly smart enough to have picked the Acclaimed over his own sons, but like, it's just objectively not working, and there's no salvage in this. And the fact that, I'm going to spoil it right now, that there was this big return after the match of FTR, it makes me resent FTR a little bit, because now we don't have the Acclaimed as champs anymore, so we can have this objectively bad title reign to then give it to FTR. So that makes me resent them, because we don't have the Acclaimed as champs anymore because they have to appease FTR because they don't want them to leave. And, you know, I still like FTR, and I'm still going to be happy when they're tag champs. And especially now if the Bucks are, you know, back in the tag division, not the trios division, we could get that match again. Sure, but we should have had that match literally almost a year ago at this point. It just was this was just a fun-ass match. And that's the thing, is I'm shitting on the ending so hard. The match was so much fun. I'd argue the actual most fun match of the night, because it just had nothing but fun.
No, I could see that. Oh God,
2 minutes again.
I enjoyed the match a lot, but I went into it with very low expectations because I expected the Guns to retain.
Yeah, I think we all did. But
So
Yeah, we picked them. Like
I didn't allow myself to immerse myself in it because of that.
yeah, exactly.
But the match, you're right. The match was fun. You know, Jarrett understands his role, and it's great.
It is amazing how somebody. I think I said this while we were watching. I was so negative when Jarrett came in. I was like, "What the fuck are we doing here? Why is this person here?" I was dead wrong. This man has played his role perfectly. Like you said, he is a heat magnet, and it's phenomenal. And him pairing him with Lethal, because people like Lethal, so they will play along with him being the heel and boo and have the right reaction. People just love booing Jeff Jarrett, and he's done such a great job. First with his feud with Darby and Sting, and now his feud with the Acclaimed, and then obviously and with Lethal, and then them getting, for lack of a better phrase, thrown into this match, because that's what this match was. This match was just thrown together. It wasn't actually a feud, so to speak.
They needed to get the Acclaimed on. They needed to get the tag titles on. They needed to get the overact that is Orange Cassidy on, and Jarrett too.
Don't forget Danhausen.
You could do better than that.
Wasn't my best. Working on it.
I don't know. It was fine.
Moving on.
Yeah,
What happened
it was
next?
fine. It was fine.
No, I thought, honestly, this was really fun match until the end.
It was. Look, let's talk about the important thing. He brought it up. FTR is back.
Yes, they are.
No matter what, I'm not as offended by this as I think you guys are, and that's just because it feels like they needed to move the division into a new place. The Acclaim took on everybody that was worth taking on, sometimes multiple times, and if you want to make new champions, I get it. FTR makes a lot of sense given the circumstances. I don't think if they win the titles, I don't think it's so they can like convince them to stay. I think they're already going to stay at this point. I think it's just, okay, you are the tag team of the year last year. Let's capitalize on that. I don't know. I wouldn't have had them take the titles off the Acclaimed, especially because the Acclaimed already beat them. But I think right now the tag division, just with FTR back and now the tease of the Young Bucks coming back, I think it makes that division seem so much stronger than it did a month ago.
Yeah, but the Acclaimed are better than everyone we just talked about.
Fair.
Yeah, honestly, it feels like they took the titles off the Acclaim so FTR wouldn't have to beat them to get the titles. They're going to beat the Ash Boys.
And I get that, but is that the worst thing? Would you have rather they beat the Acclaim?
Honestly,
They don't have
they
to
hadn't
beat
done
the
one
Acclaimed.
already.
They don't have to become tag champs right now. I feel like And I think Dax was aware of this too, because he said it on his podcast, which, is a mixed bag. But he's like, we felt like we were the hottest thing in the company, and AEW missed the boat on us. And then the Acclaim became the hottest thing in the company, and they capitalized on it. So we wanted to put those guys over and do good business with them. So he was aware. He's like, yeah, they missed the boat with us, but they didn't miss the boat with the Acclaim. So I was like, yeah, I agree with you. Like, it's bullshit that FTR didn't win the tag titles when they were the hottest thing in the company, but then the ship sailed, and now they're trying to, bring it back around. And I'm just not as much here for it as I was a year ago, especially comes even though they're not going to beat the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed losing to the Guns is way worse than losing to FTR, because the Guns are fucking people who literally cannot get a reaction, and at least FTR are stars. And we could have had Bucks versus the Acclaimed, and they could have put them over after. That was the Acclaimed's first feud when they came in, was the Bucks, and they were green then, so of course they lost. But like, having that happen years later when they're the hottest thing in the company, and the Bucks wish they can get reactions like that. No offense, but like, that would have been nice to come full circle and do that again.
Do you think you could be heated up on FTR, or do you think that you're so turned off by how this played out that you won't even care if they win the title?
I could be heated up on them, but not to the extent where I was like a year ago or 6 months ago or so on. But
it's so weird too, because they held 3 different tag team championships, and we were still like, they're not.
Yeah, but those titles mean nothing.
What did they have?
AEW.
They had Ring of Honor. They had
AAA.
New Japan. Okay, they had the IWGP.
No, in the AAA. They didn't have Impact.
Oh, I said I meant AAA, but it was Impact. God.
I do 2 things I do want to point out before we go. Renee's shoot was phenomenal. Don't forget, she was actually involved in this angle. She interviewed the Ass Boys after they won. And B, FTR Bald got busted open hard way.
How the hell did that happen? How did he start bleeding?
I have no idea. I think one of the Guns caught him with a right by accident.
I thought he was a punk guy, but it turns out he might be a Moxley guy.
Yeah, he was. When Producer Boy was running through the memes to look at, I saw his picture. He was like 2 minutes in, and he already had the cut like right here. So
Kenny Omega, strong style strong of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Best era of Kenny, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Kenny in AEW.
Wow, you and Salvador, man. You guys share a lot of opinions.
Yeah, he's
Right.
right.
It's not your burner account.
Yeah, it sounds just like
I am talented at a lot of things.
That's your
Typing
addiction
without
right
my
there.
hands, though, isn't one of them. But no, I agree. The best era of Kenny Omega was New Japan.
I don't want to talk about
It was-
this.
it was-
It was bullshit tag shit anymore, though.
it was healthiest Kenny, and it was also just. I mean, Tenfish Okada is just magic.
So, anything you wanted to add to the match, because Danny's done with it? And
No, I had my Renee and FTR Bald leading comments. What's the matter with you? All right, you good? All right. Let's move on to the final title match that we have to cover, which was TNT champion Samoa Joe facing off against Wardlow. I think this is the match, and I hate to say this, is the match we probably watched the least between the 3 of us, or the 4 of us.
Yeah, besides, so the opening match we didn't get to watch to its fullest.
Mostly because we were just rolling
filtering in.
Yeah,
but we watched this match the least just because it retained us the least. Like, you know me, guys. I love my big meaty men slapping each other's meat, but.
Can't say I knew that about you before right now, but
that's the beauty of friendship. Like, we learn more about each other over time. We still surprise each other.
Friends, not just associates. Absolutely.
Yeah, we learned that Eric likes French vanilla in his coffee. I didn't know about him.
Yeah, I did when I was like 17. Like 2, but
I never did.
I grew up.
But this match disappointed me. I love Samoa Joe. I've watched some incredible Samoa Joe matches over the years, some incredible Samoa Joe moments. I think Joe needs to slow down a little bit. I think maybe he needs to decide how much longer he wants to wrestle. Far be it for me to tell
he's at that point?
I'll be honest. Like, I love Joe.
How old is he?
It's not about age. I guess it's a little bit about age, but it's also he just doesn't seem like he can go at a high level.
I just wanted it as a frame of reference. I'm going to do a little Google, but
he's got to be 40 something.
Is he in that point? Right? My phone's covered in cat.
43 is his guess. I'm going to go 42.
Price is Right rules. We'll see.
I don't think Samoa Joe needs to retire. I just
The other producer boy.
think you need
Thank
to go back to Impact.
43. You nailed it.
Nice.
I was mad at
Yeah,
43.
Way
Nice.
to go.
I
Yeah,
had
you win the
42.
price is right. Way to go.
Holy crap. AJ
All right,
Styles
so
45.
I won the
AJ Styles is way older than
podcast.
you.
You are the winner of the podcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my power to say I don't want to talk about this match.
Yeah, no,
It was kind of boring.
Wardlow wins.
Wardlow won via submission with the Coquina clutch,
Decent touch.
which was a choice.
I also need. I you know what? I am retroactively mad at this match because this match made me think that if Bryan was going to lose by submission, it was going to be because he passed out. They did the whole one.
Oh, they did the same
2,
thing twice. No, I'm just
3.
realizing that. Yeah,
And
multiple dudes pass out to their own move. They don't do. They
well, I
don't
mean,
do.
Bryan didn't pass out
He
too.
Oh,
tapped
yeah,
out.
tapped
Tapped
out.
out.
Yeah,
I would've
so
rather
fine,
that.
multiple dudes lost to their own move.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's bad. You run the finishes by each other, guys. What are you doing? Fucking jabronis. Like, this match didn't even need to be on the pay-per-view, let alone have a finish that would tie into the main
The
event. next
TNT
day.
title changing hands on TNT, that's crazy. Or TBS, that's crazy. The TV title doing that? Come on. Why would AEW do that?
Oh, I'm once again disappointed I can't get King of Television Samoa Joe for more than 5 fucking minutes.
He had every opportunity to give it to you, and guess what? He's not giving it to you. It's not.
It's not him. He's not booking himself to win the title, lose the title, win the
It's
title.
not
lose
about
the title.
being the champion. Even when he was champion, what was he doing with that nickname?
I
Nothing.
loved those promos. Any opportunity he got to give those King promos where he was telling like the fables, like he was fucking King Arthur and Camelot.
he could
Those
be the
shits were awesome.
so he could be the King of Honor. Then he still has that title.
All right, fine. I'll give him that. That honestly, I kind of hope he runs with that now.
Yeah, King of Honor sounds better.
Yes,
Yeah.
King of Honor would be great because he was doing such a good job with what he was given, and it was phenomenal.
Sorry,
I mean, they put King of Television on the fucking Cryon,
sorry.
and they ripped it away from me again.
I'm sorry, buddy. We were both having a bad night tonight.
I'm having less of a bad night than you. Oh, I can move my leg. Praise the Lord. Oh my God, I can feel my foot again. Oh, dude, that was rough. Good, very good catch. She's a very good girl, but wow. All right, hang on, it's starting to come back.
So, yeah, Wardlow versus Hobbs on Wednesday, and I hope they hot potato this title.
You get some big. You get some. You get some more big.
I'm fine with it being 5 minutes, but yeah.
More big meat men slapping meat.
Hopefully it's better. But I don't have anything else on
I
that
don't know.
match.
I think they could put on a good match. I think they will put on a good match. Wardlow's got to do something with his hair.
Oh yeah,
Like I hope he grows it back out.
I don't want to bully the guy. It's not his
Yeah,
fault.
I'm not trying to. Yeah, just Wardlow.
How's it not his fault?
He didn't know how he was going to look.
I mean, he had to have been at that length of hair at some point before he got to having long hair.
But maybe not with the way he looks. Maybe he wasn't this jacked and everything. Maybe he was just a normal looking. Like maybe he went from Bruce Banner to the Hulk, and then the hair grew. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I'm not going to get in the whole promo, but Wardlow, do something with the hair, right guy. Let it grow back out again. You looked a lot better. No offense, and don't come kill me.
Actually, I'd say you're fucked, Wardlow, no matter what, because you look stupid with the ponytail. You're too muscular for that ponytail, and then you.
But
Look,
at least it was unique.
yeah, and that's fair. But like now that you know you look stupid with it, don't go back to it. Find something else. You know, maybe don't have the sides shaved and just have long hair overall. You know, go for something like that. But anyway, fuck this match.
I think we talked more about the match than the match actually. Like we spent more
We
time
said-
talking
then
about.
watch
We
the match.
definitely spent
Yeah.
more time talking about it than we did watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually, maybe don't even take our opinions at all on this one because how the fuck do we know what we're talking about?
All right, let's get to the last match that we haven't talked about, which saw Jon Moxley against Hangman Adam Page in a very, very violent Texas death match. This match was fucking awesome. I love this match. Hangman ended up winning when Moxley was forced to tap out after Hangman basically, literally hanged Jon Moxley off the side of the apron using a steel chain. There was more barbed wire in this match than I think there was in World War I. It was a lot of blood. There was a lot of violence. It was just awesome. I don't even care who takes it from here. I loved every second of this match. I cringed so many times. Just them taking chair spots, chairs covered in barbed wire spots, table. Just I'm still cringing just thinking about it, Danny. Like it was so good.
Man, these.
Oh, the fork. Oh yeah, I was starting to do it to you just to show I could do it.
Still no thank you.
First of all,
it was. Oh, I fucking love this match.
the people who bring forks in the matches never heard the phrase "stick a fork in me, I'm done" because they're doing it in like the beginning of the match, so that just doesn't make any sense.
Pizza cutter.
And these fucking BCC bitches fucking keep tapping out and losing their matches. Fucking jabronis.
Yeah.
Just
They both
really
did.
quick,
course.
you know it. Just commented. The wife did enjoy the short shorts. Cry face. I don't know what it's in reference to though.
It can't be this match.
Who wore short shorts tonight?
I'm not sure. Maybe we'll get an answer.
I know Mox wore long boys. I know that.
Yeah.
Oh, Wardlow. I do know Wardlow. Well, I was going to say Wardlow
Yeah, the
in
wedgie.
the match.
Yeah, he had
and
the
the
wedgie.
wedgie. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Was a mean wedgie.
Makes sense. Yeah, we understood what you meant the whole time.
Yep.
We're on the same page.
Yep. We got there.
Keep
We got
commenting.
But this match was pretty violent. You know, I don't love seeing Moxley bleed every single week. Not in the way people are making fun of it, but more just like I don't need to see that much blood. That's
Death,
not.
taxes and John Moxley
I'm not
bleeding.
bored of it. I'm uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, there's certain weeks I don't mind, and sometimes it's really cool, like when he bled on the stairwell in his promo. But like,
Oh, it's so cool.
yeah, you know, like it's just, that was a lot. But this match was pretty cool. It had a couple of points where I'm like, I feel like that should have ended the match. Like, okay, but whatever. But Hangman wins, so he can move on to lose to MJF, and that'll be great. Because, you know, I don't think the match will have the same effect as the Bryan one did where it makes you believe, but I think the feud will make you believe.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I'm looking forward to that. Like, for this match, it's hard to summarize this brutal match, but it was well worth the watch. But great match. The right guy won. I wouldn't have minded if Moxley won, but this was the right choice. And what do you think, James? You hate Hangman, or I feel like, or
I love
Well,
it.
he's not foreign, so. But James, were you
true.
surprised Moxley tapped?
but he is a millennial, so like,
Oh, that's fair, yeah. But were you surprised?
I'm a millennial.
yeah, but like, you know, he's like a
technically we all
liberal
are.
millennial
I'm a
cowboy.
liberal millennial.
You hate
But,
foreigners. That doesn't make sense.
Were you surprised Moxley tapped?
I am shocked that he tapped. I'm so used to seeing people passing out in AEW that to see a tap out feels so. Oh,
I
God,
mean, he
almost used the
literally
word,
almost got
getting in
executed
trouble.
on live television, so.
You know it says he thought Mox Adam was the best match of the night.
I think it's a fair argument.
Yeah, that's a great
argument.
It's that in the main event, top two for me, and then the Elite House of Black match probably.
I think it was a very strong match. It was violent. It was bloody. It was vicious. Both guys showed different sides of their personality because I don't think we've ever seen Moxley tap out before.
No,
I can't even remember Dean Ambrose tapping out, but
he
Not
definitely
recently.
did.
I assume John Cena probably
Yeah,
got
I'm
him.
pretty sure he tapped out to John Cena.
Moxley,
And to Daniel Bryan.
you think so?
Yeah.
But
They had so many matches. I think just law of averages probably says he did, but I don't remember Moxley tapping out. At least since AEW.
Moxley tapping out seems so bizarre.
I mean, he's
to
only
me.
lost such a handful of times.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, was this his seventh loss?
Maybe, if that. And Hangman, like, I loved Mox's promo the other day where he was like, you know, Hangman's a great wrestler, he's a great man, but I'm a different kind of animal. Well, I think Hangman showed that he's that kind of animal too. And I think that was really cool. I think that was very good. And Hangman has been so underdeveloped since he lost the title that I think any development at this point is good development. And I think this was a step in the right direction for him. So, oh boy, I don't know.
Heyman's at his best, I think, so far as we've seen when he's chasing. So he was chasing. Hello, cat again. The cat's on my legs there, but he's at his best when he's chasing. When he was chasing Kenny, when now he was chasing Mox basically.
Yeah.
So and perhaps he will be chasing the title again. So I think this is his element, and I think most people usually say baby faces are at their best when they're chasing.
Typically.
And he is one of the most pure baby faces in wrestling right now. So I do think, and we're all looking at the cat because she's going up the wires.
No, I was looking at her because she was behind the couch and she had a mouse in her mouth, a toy mouse, and she was walking by with it casually.
Yeah, toy mouse.
Yeah, it was. Okay.
Well, I only caught a glimpse of it, so who knows? But
But all right, we're good on the wires. But yeah, because he's chasing again. Obviously, now the story has ended. We'll see where he goes. But he's been so good in this role because he has been chasing, beating the most violent person in AEW, and honestly, the dude who is at the top of the card outside of MJF, obviously. So that's why this has been so good, because he wants something, and he's had to go through so much adversity to get it. And that's when Hangman is at his best. When he has to scratch and claw and fight to get what he wants. And he finally gets there and he overcomes those odds. Not that John Cena it, but he gets
beats
there.
Big Match John. And
Yeah, he did. He did beat a big match, John. But like I said, by literally attempting to execute him. So he's got to work on that fracture, though, the Hangman's fracture. But other than that,
I think we could all agree it's a matter of when, not if, Hangman wins his second title. I don't see him being the guy to beat MJF, but I think he could be. I think you could build him to be that guy again.
Do you think he's the first two-time champ?
He's already not. He's already not even going to be the second.
Yeah, Punk and Mox.
Oh, that's right. I'm stupid.
We talked about it earlier. Like
2 minutes.
it wasn't the case.
Don't they
2
even
minutes,
count?
I'm out.
Don't they even count Mox as a 3-time champ?
Yeah,
or
Mox-
some shit like
Mox
that?
got retroactive, yeah.
Mox
yeah.
is a 3-time champion, which is
Yeah, I'm dumb.
and Punk is a 2-time champion.
I'm a dumb boy.
You know what? Yeah, fuck. I'm glad Moxley almost died tonight, actually, because he
Jesus
beat
Christ.
Bryan at Grand Slam that we were at, and that really sent me home not happy.
It just said, I'm not a big fan of tap outs, especially on pay-per-views. Used a little bit too much for my liking.
Then you
Really?
definitely didn't like the UFC pay-per-view last night.
What is this fucking UFC?
Let's just review the UFC pay-per-view after this.
Yeah,
We're not gonna end
live
it.
here on the Market Down podcast.
We're still talking about like WWE at points, but I like tap outs. I agree there was a lot of them tonight, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, you had a lot of wrestlers who utilize submissions. I don't want them to not be submission people.
Yeah.
I just think it's like anything else here, where it's like, well, these are both big tap outs. Like,
Yeah.
Brian's only passed out submissions, and Mox has never lost a submission, so they're a big deal. Maybe you don't do them in the same show, and I agree if that's where you're coming from with this commentator whose name I already forgot, but
Unknown.
unknown.
Because
Great.
you know it.
Oh, you know it.
Well, it was unknown to me at the time,
Yeah.
but so doing it both of the two biggest matches on the card, I could agree with that. But yeah, still big win for Hangman. Mox maybe this time finally take that vacation.
Right? I keep thinking this is it.
He could do
This
it
is
now,
when it'll
too.
happen.
Especially because I think Claudio and Wheeler are probably going to end up on Ring of Honor a lot more, considering they both hold ROH titles. Mox could step away for a while. And again, he almost got killed. So I think that's a pretty good reason to step away for a couple of minutes.
But didn't he leave for like 2 weeks after one of the Hangman matches? Maybe that was his
Yeah.
vacation.
he had a kayfabe concussion.
Right. So
He left for 2 weeks, came back. They had the third match, which ended in that pinning predicament, and then Hangman challenged him again because Hangman was pissed because he didn't think that was the right way to end the feud.
I'm just realizing Renee came out later totally fine. Her husband was
Not
hanged.
covered in his blood.
Yeah, like her husband was
She's a pro.
hanged on live TV or live pay-per-view, and
I think,
total professional.
she's got a job to do.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
she's a total pro.
or maybe she's used to seeing her husband being hung. Maybe he has a
I bet.
autoerotic
damn.
asphyxiation.
She's no longer the grieving wife. She's just over it at this point.
I forget what match
She
it was.
introduces herself as a widow. She's like, yeah, soon to be widowed.
I forget what match it was. I think it was the one where he fought Kenny at the very
Yeah,
beginning of
yeah.
AEW, where she tweeted out, "John, what the fuck?" And I think everything after that, she's just like, "I can't. It's not gonna get worse."
She's
than this."
made one request that I've seen. She's made one request when it comes to Moxley, and she doesn't want him. Like, she's asked him to stop licking the blood of the opponents, and I think that's actually
You're
pretty
setting
fair.
a bad example for our
Yeah.
child.
Yeah,
that's pretty fair.
I think even despite the times we're in, that's fair. Like even before where we are now, that's fair.
I adored this match. I really did.
I can't remember if I've ever seen bricks in a match.
Oh my god, I forgot about the bricks. How did I forget about the bricks? Oh
Cinder
my
blocks,
Cinder
but never
block, yeah.
bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Wait. Keith
A
Lee went through a cinder block.
A cinder
on
block
regular
is a
television.
brick, but a brick is not a cinder block.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like all squares
That-
are rectangles, but all rectangles are
Nailed it.
squares.
Can I do it? Mic drop? Do you mind?
Do it on the couch so it don't break.
Do it on your lap.
That's a very expensive mic. This one you can drop.
No,
piece of
I
shit.
don't have that one.
No, but yeah, the curb stomp onto the brick. I was shocked Hangman got up from that. I mean, I watched American History X. I thought he was dead.
Jesus, that's one
It's like
thing. That's one thing that Danny said that I really, really agree with. Like in contrast to the Elite House of Black match, where I felt like nobody kicked out of something they shouldn't have. Hangman survived things he should not have.
But
Like,
I thought that kind of helped with his character building, so to speak.
it
Like that
depends-
man was not gonna fucking stay down, no matter what.
I get that. What comment do we got?
You know, it just said, I'm kind of glad Cage and Jungle Taker.
I swear it comes from
I'm kind of glad Cage and Jungle Taker feud is over. It
Jungle
wasn't
Taker.
working for me.
Well, I guess because it was a buried alive match.
Yeah,
so to
because
speak.
the heel got the
Yeah,
win at
because
the
the
end.
heel won. Jesus. Yeah, no, that's fair. I think it was, for me personally, with that feud, it was working back before Christian got hurt, and then I think the time off kind of, it dampened it a bit. And
Yeah.
so I understand them closing the loop, and I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm good. Like, obviously, you have a buried alive match like that, or a casket match, or wherever you want to put it. It's over. Hello, Wednesday. Wednesday is the dog. That's 2 animals so far. We need a third for the over. It was
Right.
2.5.
Give it time.
You just need to put Batista on the screen. That's 3.
But
yeah, but I loved Hangman's character development in this match just because he wouldn't stay down.
yeah,
And
this felt like the guy who was on the rise to the title and was willing to survive anything and overcome anything, and he did it here. And I think both guys are going to progress in a way that they need to. I
Yeah.
think Mox, who's been so unbeatable except for like the 1 or 2 times that he's actually taken a loss, like clean. I think that he's going to be humbled by this in a good way, or in a very, it'll set him off in a very heelish way.
I think it's that one
Yeah.
because they're so violent now.
Or, and Hangman, I think Hangman needed to get his confidence back, and this was it. This was how he gets his confidence back.
Imagine this Hangman was champion.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah, I think he's perfectly set to go after MJF.
Yeah, like I think that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, where he's so good at chasing, and then you get there, and I think we said this when he won the title. Okay, now what? And
Well,
then
you
the
see-
now what was just, I don't want to say it was bad, but it wasn't what we expected, nor did they capitalize on
Here's
the
the
momentum he had.
Here's the thing with that, because I don't really subscribe to the notion of people being good chasers and not good champions. I think that's like bullshit, Booker logic. But in Hangman's case specifically, and I said this, and none of you guys wanted to admit that this was right. The best thing to have done with Hangman after he won the title was to immediately take it away from him, because that would have added to his struggle where he finally did it, and then he immediately has the rug pulled out from under him, and then he would be right back where he was. It would be a sequel, a warranted sequel that we all would have enjoyed, as opposed to the title reign we got that ruined Bryan Danielson, that ruined the fuck out of Adam Cole, and then he beat Lance Archer. Cool, because that's like a rite of passage. But
I mean, I just think I say he's been good at chasing because it's the one thing they have proven that they can do with him in
Yeah.
AEW. That title reign was booked like shit.
Yeah.
We all know it was booked like shit. I think if it was booked well, then I would have a much different opinion as a champion. But they booked it awfully, as you just succinctly put it. So I don't have a really good opinion of him as a champ because they didn't do it well. Now, if he wins again and they do it right, then I'm going to change my opinion. But right now, the only time they have booked Adam Page well is when he's chasing.
Which is so weird to think about. Like a man who beat Bryan Danielson, who beat Adam Cole, who
Baby.
beat Lance Archer, he beat someone else.
That's why I mean he beat Okada in the 4-way and Jay White.
Yeah, that was
No, he didn't beat them.
He
Yeah,
lost
so
it.
that,
No.
he wasn't even champion.
He
at that
bought-
point,
that was that was for the New
so who
Japan
else
title.
did he?
He
yeah,
beat one other person.
Did he? Because he faced Bryan twice.
Yeah,
he faced Cole twice.
Punk was champ when Forbidden Door happened, or
Yeah.
he was champ when Forbidden Door happened.
Well,
and then-
But how
On
crazy
paper,
is,
it sounds great. It's just an execution. It wasn't.
yeah, the execution was very poor.
Yeah, exactly. So when they prove to me that they can book Adam Page as a champion, then I'll be like, yeah, that what you said, people being better at chasing than champion is bullshit. And you're actually, no, you are right. It's just for whatever reason, they didn't do it with him. So,
But I think they'll get it right on the second turn, whenever that comes.
oh God, I hope so.
Yeah,
Because we want a good Adam Page champion.
just don't have him beat the shiny new toys. I mean, that was the only problem.
Yeah,
Really
that was pretty dumb.
Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. What about you, producer boy?
I'm just glad the White Shot died now.
I didn't even notice.
Go on.
I just hope everyone had fun.
Let's hope everyone had a good time.
Oh, all right, overall pay-per-view 1 to 10.
I mean, I had a great time. I'm not going to put it at a 10. It's hard to say. I've also had a few today, obviously, so that makes wrestling a lot more fun for me. I mean, it's like coming out of it, probably like 7.5 and an 8, or an 8, like somewhere around there.
I wouldn't.
But I would have to go back and review it in a little more sober state of mind.
What was that, Eric?
I wouldn't give it an 8 because I think maybe the Rumble was probably an 8. So this would probably be like a 7 because I think Chamber was probably the best pay-per-view of the year. Rumble second, and then this would, this had some competition.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I'd say maybe like a 7.4. You know, if we're being really,
Say Portnoy.
Yeah, I'll say real Portnoy score there. No round numbers.
yeah, you know, if we're doing that, I'd say 7.4. If I had to round down, I'd probably say 6. But it was a good show. It was way shorter than what I expected, so that's fantastic.
Yeah, the pacing of the show was phenomenal. I thought
It was. It was.
Yeah, we always bitch that AEW doesn't really let anything breathe on the pay-per-views. Like you don't have time to use the bathroom because they're not showing commercials or anything like that. But as we said on the prediction show, and I think I mentioned this earlier tonight, the pacing was going to be key because they had that 60-minute Iron Man match, and you can very easily lose a crowd with one of those.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever really lost a crowd in total. Outside of the Guns winning, which went over like a fart in church, but
I don't think they lost the crowd. It's just the crowd knew how they wanted to react to that.
it was
That was a
No, you
concentrated
literally
effort.
lost the crowd because they went from being loud to nothing. That's like almost by definition. But I know what you mean. But,
Yeah,
but
I don't think the crowd wasn't interested. I think the crowd just decided to
but
say,
that's how the crowd felt. They weren't interested because the boring thing happened. The worst case scenario happened.
I get what you're saying.
giving it a 7.8. I think that's fair.
And that's what I think you were saying. Part of it's like, oh, you're drinking while you're doing it. So like, and like you're with your friends, and by your friends I mean like Michelob Ultra and
and the cats.
and
Wednesday.
then your acquaintances here, with me and producer boy. I mean, James is your friend,
Jason over there.
Yeah,
Michael,
Yeah.
how dare you?
Whatever.
yeah, some friends.
Real friend right
I'm
there.
not a horror movie guy.
Wow, unbelievable. But yeah,
That's a different
what would
podcast.
you give it, Timothy?
It could have been a perfect 10 if Brian won. Now I'll give it I'll give it an 8. I'll give it an 8. I enjoyed the wrestling.
The wrestling was really good.
Yeah, the wrestling throughout the night was really good. It's just all my guys lost.
Yeah. So like just because we like didn't really hone in on a couple of matches doesn't mean they were bad. We just weren't super paying attention.
I think there was only one stinker of a match, and I think it was Wardlow and Joe, and everything else
Maybe
was
Starks and Jericho. We just can't say for sure.
quite frankly, I don't think I could give a good answer to Joe and Wardlow either because I really wasn't paying attention during that one.
But that's because of the match.
Yeah.
That was the direct indictment
you
on the
weren't
match.
not paying attention because there was a distraction. You weren't paying attention because the match was a stinker.
No, I think it just kind of was doing something else.
I don't know what to tell. He's wrong.
No. But my point being that should something good or cool have happened that would have piqued my interest, I probably would have zoned back in on it. But I didn't, and then all of a sudden I turned around and motherfucking Wardlow was choking Joe out with his own move. So that's how that shit happened.
And that was a good finish.
I guess, but I don't know if they built to it or not. Is my problem. Like I almost feel bad judging that match just strictly due to the fact I barely watched it.
No, the best
And I
thing
feel
to do
bad I
is
barely
to
watched
judge
it because I
things you
like both
haven't
of those
seen.
guys.
Wait, what was that?
So the best thing to do is judge things you haven't seen. Have strong opinions about stuff you don't know anything about. That's
That's the American
society,
way.
Yeah, the
That's
society
the
we live in.
American
And
way.
James only loves Americans, so that's what he embodies.
Even when I team up with him, it's friendly fire.
Well, I was gonna say
I'm teaming up with you. Exactly. I was getting behind your jargon. You
and
know?
then shooting me in the back of the head.
No, I was rallying the troops.
All right,
you know?
the build. It says the build for the pay-per-view was meh. So okay.
The bill for the pay-per-view was mass, so I guess it overexceeded my expectations. Maybe why I gave it that rating. Probably will drop the day after effect. That's
Hey, man,
fair.
you liked it. There's nothing wrong
you
with
don't have
that
to
rating.
defend yourself.
Yeah.
I ranked it higher than you. I enjoyed
I thought
it.
actually,
No,
I
we
kind
want
of
you to
agree with the
defend yourself.
7.8. I think that's a very fair score. I think that's probably about right.
Right, so
If you watch our show, we want you to defend yourself.
Yeah,
If you don't agree with us,
yeah.
you have to tell us why.
I mean, I'm going to take you to task even if you agree with us, honestly. But you know,
I'm going to make you explain why you agree with me.
But
yeah.
I think
I
he's
start
got a
arguing
point.
against
Like
myself.
there were parts of this pay-per-view that didn't have great builds. Obviously, we've harped on the Elite and House of Black a lot. Perhaps the Wardlow Joe match didn't have the best build, and I'm sure a couple other matches did too. But I do think this pay-per-view delivered. I think we had a really good time watching it. I had a very good time hanging out with you guys, which was cool. It's the first time I've seen Danny since we were playing Little League in person, at least. So
what would you say about the state of AEW? Do you think they're in a better place now than they were at the last pay-per-view? Do you think it's kind of just the same? Do you think it's worse? I think they have more direction now than I feel like they did last time.
oh no, producer boy pick up his mic. All right,
last pay per view was the
Full gear.
Full gear. We were there.
Oh, it wasn't.
Oh, we were there.
No, All Out was before that.
It was because it was all that was the brawl,
What was
and it was full gear.
Where was full gear?
It was in
Newark.
Jersey.
Oh, yeah, I didn't go to that. shit.
MJF won the title off Mox. Jamie Hayward won the title off Tony Storm.
Yeah. Okay, then never mind.
Like I think they're building very well. Like I think they're building off a lot of momentum.
I think it's much more inconsistent now than it was before. Like before, it was like, okay, the Punk thing happened, and it was a good 3 weeks of we're still kind of interested in what's going on, but after the last month and WWE being so good, it's hard for them to keep up. And I know it's bad to compare the two. But I did the same. I did the same when WWE is not amazing, but when AEW was at the top of their game and WWE was shit, I was kind of comparing the two.
And I think that's fair.
Hard
I mean,
not to.
it's the only thing we have to compare what's good versus what's bad. But one, it's hard for me to say WWE is good. I think the Bloodline is good right now.
Word.
But
I
You
would
don't
say
watch Rev. You don't have opinions on that.
I watch the Bloodline shit. I specifically make sure I keep up.
Okay,
with the
so yeah,
Bloodline
you
shit.
can't compare the rest of the show.
No, I'm saying the Bloodline stuff's good. The rest of it,
but beyond that though,
the pay-per-views are really good though.
yeah.
They have been.
Yeah, no, they have
this
been.
year.
They've been very strong. I think AEW is it's consistently inconsistent or inconsistently consistent.
Uh-huh.
The things that they're consistent with, they're good at maintaining. Like MJF's storyline is very well handled. The women's storyline has been very well handled.
for the
Right,
first
but-
time.
But is it being handled by someone above, or is it being handled by the people that are in?
I don't care.
No, I'm just saying.
Or que no los dos.
No, but it
Similar to how the Bloodline storyline is probably amazing, is because Heyman is involved and he's got a big say in everything.
And I think
And
Roman
that's-
has a very big say in what's going
and
on
that's
as well.
very, very true, but also to me as the viewer, irrelevant. I don't care how the hot dog is made as long as it tastes good.
That's why I don't
and-
eat hot dogs.
What? Jesus Christ!
That's not good. Not a
love hot dogs.
good. Okay,
A
so
little sauerkraut.
That's
Can't
a
eat
very
them
long
plain though.
story.
'Cause I'll
I'm
start
a
to
plain
gag.
guy. Give me a plain
I'll
hot
start
dog.
to-
I'll gobble it down.
I'll start to gag if I can't do a plain one. It's weird.
Really?
It's a weird.
But regardless, I think AEW what it's doing well, they're doing very well. The things that they're doing poorly, it's a drag.
You can see that when Wheeler Yuta shows up out of nowhere, and we want to like him, and he always gets over in his matches. But it's why the fuck you here, dude? You haven't been here in a month and a half.
Yeah.
I love
So-
drunk Rev. Drunk Rev makes sense. Why is he on my TV? I don't understand.
You see, this is what happens. You let the bad guys win.
I just don't
No,
understand.
because I like Wheeler. It's just they don't
That's great.
build him.
I like Santino Marella, but I don't want him on my TV.
Well, he's
because-
on every Thursday on Impact.
Jim
as-
Pack Zone, ladies and gentlemen.
on YouTube where Wheeler
and
Yuta belongs.
Access TV.
Damn.
No, but like I like Wheeler in the ring, and I like when he's on my TV and he presents it to me. It's just
You don't get enough.
exactly because they don't give me a reason to care. I only care because I like him, rather than I don't have a reason to
get what
care
you're
because
saying.
they're not giving me one.
I get what you're saying.
Just really quick, we had a guy named Jason Dean Barfoot. He said, "Thanks for letting me lurk tonight." So he must have been watching without commenting.
Oof.
I'm kind of new into wrestling and getting a better feel of it.
Oh well, we're glad to have you there, Jason, and I'm glad you're getting into wrestling. It's a really good time.
Yeah, I mean, stick with us because funny enough, you have someone almost to view like a lens through because James just started watching wrestling recently.
Yeah.
So
But Jason, we hope you enjoyed the show, both ours and the pay-per-view. And
mostly
yeah,
ours.
tell us what you thought of, like, what was your favorite match? But leave that in the comments. And
Yeah, but I think we can all agree that we enjoyed this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And we enjoyed watching it together, so
Oh,
wrestling a little bit.
wrestling is always better with friends
Exactly.
could have been
and acquaintances,
could have been
apparently.
better food spread. You know,
You know what goes? I'm the only person I know that has the Access channel.
My,
I actually do. Well,
Yeah.
my mom does on FiOS. It's like 3 above the HD channel for ESPN. That's the only reason I know
what
it's
I'm
there.
hearing though from It is that he has access to Impact. So you yeah. So it every Thursday I cover Impact Wrestling. You're
On the Gym Pack Zone.
on the Gym Pack Zone here at the Mark It Down podcast. So please check me out next Thursday.
All right. Considering Danny is falling asleep on Togepi, I do think we need to wrap things up here at the Market Down podcast. So I would like to thank everybody so much for watching. If you are watching on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, be sure to like the page.
Follow? Is it follow?
Follow, like, I don't know on Facebook. If you're on Twitter, follow us there. If you are on YouTube, you can check out all of our social media stuff in the description below, and if you do those, you will be able to see all of our shows. You got the Raw Fast Forward with Danny's on Monday, following Monday Night Raw. We will be live every Wednesday after Dynamite to review that. Got the Gym Pack Zone on Thursday, plus James is workshopping a new Ring of Honor show as well for Thursdays, so that kid's gonna be pulling double duty for those. Good on you, mate. And you will get weekly episodes pretty much every week, unless like we're all sick or something. So, which I think happened one time, and then I just put out the Santa Claus episode.
Yeah. So I just like to add one thing before we completely go out. Like if you're gonna get an Airbnb and the person has a fucking animal, take care of the fucking animal. Like feed it properly, clean the litter, make sure it has water, like give it attention, bro. You fucking monsters. Oh my god. Anyway, have a good night, everyone. I'm going to sleep.
Yep. All right. I would like to thank everybody so much for watching the Market Down podcast. Be nice to animals. So for Dana Hernandez, producer boy Eric Asante, James Asante, and Mike Myers, my name is Nick Cummings. Thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you here next time. Have a good one, everyone.